gonna swim, bike, and run. In the corner sun, we're gonna swim, bike, and run. In the corner sun, 2021.
Thank you, Pacho, man. Welcome everybody to Breakfast with Bob, not quite Kona edition. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by Clash USA, Credo Tri, You Can, Hoka One One, Velo Fix, Normatec, Canyon Bikes, and of course our Challenged Athletes Foundation. We just sent out 3,038 grants, totaling $5.1 million to keep challenged athletes in the game of life through sport. Our next guest, Mr. Steve Kenshur. Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Bob. Thank you.
We have never met before. It is an honor to get to meet you. So when did you get into running? Is it something through high school, college, or was it afterwards?
It was afterwards. I did sports in high school. When I turned 40, though, married with kids, I had a neighbor that signed me up for a half marathon as a birthday present. So I kind of got hooked.
I was going to say, because you've done over 50 marathons.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people feel that, hey, I'm fit, I'm healthy, that heart disease, things like that won't affect me because I'm running every day. Was that sort of your attitude? Because your dad died, what, at 62 years old?
Yeah, he died of a major heart attack. And I remember him popping nitroglycerin as a child growing up. He was in pain most of the time. He would just pop them like Tic Tacs. So, I thought staying active and fit would help, and I believe it did.
So, but you had some heart issues earlier and ended up with some stents?
Yeah, in 2007, I thought I had some allergy symptoms, hitting up. I called my doctor to get a refill, and he asked me to come in and do a more thorough test since I'm getting older and there's heart disease in the family. And that kind of started the panic, if you will. Oh my God, look at this guy. He's all blocked up. And so I got 3 stents inserted in 2007.
So, but meanwhile, you're running fast. What's your marathon PR?
3:34.
Cool. So you obviously qualified for Boston 2019, and your goal there was to qualify for 2020, which is great. And but after mile 11, you just felt like you just didn't have your day.
No, I was feeling more tired than normal, and it was unusual because I really thought I did a good job with the training and worked overtime on the training this time. So I really thought I was going to be able to qualify again at Boston.
And what did you end up running?
I ended up running like a 4-hour. I was tired at mile 11. Had to keep adjusting my plan, going to plan B, plan C. And then it was all of a sudden it was like, okay, well, if I could just finish the last 5 miles when it's flat, strong, and I'll live to run another day.
And then those are prophetic words, because then 6 weeks later, you go to Fontana Days Half Marathon, which is a notoriously fast course, and you're looking to set a PR, which you did, right? You set a PR by 3 minutes. You win your age group. How fast did you run?
1:33.
Oh my God! At what? 60 years old?
62.
At 62 years old. Wow. And obviously, you don't remember much from what happened at the finish. But what happened at the finish?
Yeah, I wish I remembered more. I kind of get bits and pieces from my wife and friends. But and in the back of my mind as a competitor, you want to I could have beat 130. I wonder how I felt. So I go back looking at the pictures and trying to figure out what's what. But I went down pretty hard right at the finish line. You always see that in the movies, and I'd never experienced that. So I went down, blacked out. Cardiac arrest, wasn't breathing. They've been going back and forth on the time, but now they're telling me a total of 15 minutes. At first they thought I had a stroke. Then they had to wait for the Fontana Police Department got there and really helped out. And there was one police officer from the Santa Ana Police Department that also jumped in and was working on me, and as well as the race director. So went down right at the finish line, and then the police department, the race director, they all kept me alive. And to the point where one of the officers told me that, hey, he's gone, you can stop trying now, and they have, it's part of their job where if they start initiating a CPR protocol, they're not allowed to stop until an ambulance arrives, and then shortly after that, one of the police officers said he could see the life coming back into my eyes.
So at the same time, your wife is walking. She's doing like a speed walk of the same course. And, you kissed her before you left, Katie. And now she's walking down, and about mile 8, she's chatting with one of the motorcycle policemen. And then he gets a call, basically looking for her. Yeah,
the police officer from Santa Ana turned over my bib, and he saw, okay, emergency contact, Katie Kenshur. Asked her if she was Katie. Yes, and then she didn't know what the hell was going on, but she was getting a little nervous. And then before she knew it, the car was coming for her, sirens blaring, and they took her to the hospital.
So police picked her up, took her to the hospital. You got the mayor of Fontana, you got the event coordinator, and police officers are all waiting for her. So she knows it's not good. What was she told?
She was told that they didn't know what was going to go on. They didn't know. I was out for a CAT scan when she first got there. They rolled me back. They said I was really medicated. I was medicated quite a bit. So I was a little bit delirious. And they told her if I did survive, I could likely be a vegetable, and then she may have to care for me that way. So, it was all everything was kind of up in the air at that point.
So your heart had stopped. You were unconscious for, what did you say, 15
minutes total.
You were in the hospital for what, 9 days or something?
9 days, 5 days at the Kaiser Hospital in Fontana, where they did, I think they call it hypothermic protocol. They basically freeze you. And I was fortunate that Kaiser had that ability, because as I understand it, there's only one hospital in San Diego that has that ability. But they froze me for 5 days. I was in a coma. And when it came time to transfer me to the Scripps Hospital in La Jolla, they slowly warmed my body up and popped me in an ambulance. And that was kind of a weird experience too, because I was still really drugged up, rolling around in the back of an ambulance, not really knowing what to think and what was going on.
Wow. And when your wife was told you had a 10% chance to survive, end up in a vegetative state, they send you home with a walker, and basically you were being told you'll never, running was history, right? You'll never be an athlete again. You need to learn to walk. You need to learn everything. How many times did you use that walker?
Not once.
You still have it?
Yeah, I still have it.
Sort of a reminder of what could have been.
It is a reminder. Yeah, it is. It's by my bed. Still has the tags on it. So I'm very fortunate, very blessed to be here.
What did you learn from this experience, or what did you take away from it?
Well, for one thing, I have a lot of gratitude for our police officers that are there to jump in, and all our heroes. There were thousands that prayed for me that day. The mayor got together a prayer group for us. So it just a new appreciation for our police department and what they do to help people. And then also it just kind of validated that, you can do everything right and things could still go wrong. And you need to be prepared for that. I think part of the preparation for that is just, being in relatively good physical shape so you can overcome if something happens. You have at least have a chance of overcoming.
What precautions do you take now? Because if you go out and run, you try to make sure you're running with groups. You always wear a heart monitor. What do you do?
I've been wearing a heart monitor, my Garmin for a while. It works really well. Now, as far as effort level, if I feel like my effort level is getting up there, I'll turn it around. Instead of looking at my pace, I'll just monitor my heart monitor. That's what's interesting is because I had COVID also, and I had COVID pneumonia, and they said that can affect your heart and lungs and all that. That can last for 9 months. So even though I'm clear of COVID, the effects could make my heart rate fluctuate up until November would be 9 months. So every once in a while I'll be running and I'll see my heart rate spike, but then I'll run faster and it'll go back down. And so, it's kind of like what the doctor said, just focus on effort level. Don't overdo it on heart rate because it's not going to be exact right now.
Do you still have some running goals?
Oh yeah. I've got 4 halves I'm signed up for. I want to sign up for a marathon. I want to do Boston at least one more time. So maybe a qualifying race in the fall. But the doctors want me to come in for some sort of either an invasive test or maybe a treadmill test before they want to make sure my arteries are clear before I do any competitive racing. But the good news there is I'm going to be 65. So I don't have to. I know, right? I don't have to. I can try. The effort level could be a little bit less.
Do the doctors feel that the fitness level you had saved your life?
Yes, no doubt. Yeah,
I mean,
they said somebody else
look at it. Some people will look at it and go, "Oh my God, you run over 50 marathons. He's pushing his heart. He knows he's got a history of heart disease." But at the same time, by being fit, I'm pretty damn sure that saved your life.
I am too. Bob.
That's very, very cool, Steve. I'm glad you're back and healthy. And people talk about when someone has a near-death experience, sometimes they have flashbacks to what was happening. Anything like that?
No, I can't even make something up. I've been praying more, but no, I didn't have any near death. No light, no experience like that. Maybe it's because I had all these big police officers jumping on me.
You had the mayor, you had the police officers. It's funny as people talk about. I remember our company used to own rock and roll marathons, and when someone would die at a race, there would always be these articles about, "Oh my God, if these races are killing people." I'm like, well, no. If this person had been running out on their own, if you were running on your own that day, you could have been out in San Diego somewhere by yourself, and you would not have lived. If it wasn't for the fact that you were raced and at a finish line, that saved your life.
Yeah, it could have happened in Boston too. With 30,000 people or 22, whatever the count was that year, and it would have been hard to get an ambulance in there as well. Who knows whether Boston has the hypothermic protocol? But there's a lot of what ifs. I'm just blessed to be here.
That is so cool. Congratulations, bud. And the best part is you ran a PR on that day.
I got my PR, and I'm like, God, I wonder, if I could have gone faster. You don't know. I could not find one picture of me running. I mean, because the 5K people were finishing before me.
Yeah.
So, I go through the race videos and it's like, okay, there's my feet on the ground. But I'm tempted. I want to do it again. And I want to do Fontana one more time. I want to remember the race this time. And I want to pay respect to the police officers, race coordinator, and the mayor. Because of COVID, it's been postponed. So I'm hoping next year, June 1st, I'll be back out there.
So this must have been pretty traumatic for Katie. To be walking along, everything's good. Next thing you know, your husband has a 10% chance to live and might be in a vegetative state the rest of his life. How long did it take for her to come to grips with, okay, you're back, okay for you to run again? Yeah,
I tell you what, my wife is one of the strongest ladies I know. We've been married. This year will be 42 years. And she just takes it in stride. She just knew when it was time to not panic and buckle down. And, if you had to cry, you go in the other room and cry. But she was there for me. Even when I had COVID, she was there for me. So, yeah, I couldn't ask for a better wife.
Love it. Hey, Steve, thanks for taking time to chat. What an amazing story. And the fact that you're back running again, that's the coolest thing there is. And hopefully we'll see you at Boston and Fontana in 2022.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
Right,
thanks, Bob.
Steve Kenshur has been our guest, everybody. Again, Breakfast with Bob, not quite Kona edition. We'll catch you next time.